and thanks for tuning in. I'm Angela Haupt, the editor of the Health and Wellness section at US News. Today, we release our Best Diets 2013 rankings, an in-depth look at 29 different eating plans and approaches. We're highlighting plant-based diets this year, and we're ready to chat about what they are and how they work. I'm joined with two great folks here. Laura.
I'm Laura McMullen. I'm a health and wellness reporter at US News.
And we are joined by our special guest, Julieanna Hever, who is also known as the Plant-Based Dietitian. She's the author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Plant-Based Nutrition, in addition to a whole number of other projects. So hello, Julieanna. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Angela. Hi, Laura. Thanks for having me.
Hi.
Well, it's great to see everybody. And so let's get started talking about plant-based diets. So tell us, what are the benefits of a whole food plant-based diet?
There are myriad benefits to a whole food plant-based diet. Some of the most stunning examples are a decreased incidence or decreased risk for many different types of cancers, like especially colorectal cancer, a lot of breast cancer, prostate cancer, stomach cancer, a reduced risk for heart disease, and including strokes and heart attacks, and a reduction in blood pressure. We see a lot of our people that go onto a whole food plant-based diet reduce their blood pressure, reduce their cholesterol levels, and improve their overall health. It's really good for enhancing energy and athletic performance and recovery. The list goes on and on. It is pretty much the best diet we have available to us.
Wow.
Wow. Can you also talk to us a little bit about, what a plant-based diet looks like in terms of what are some foods that you'll eat a lot of, and how often, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. The crux of a whole food plant-based diet is that you're getting most of your servings from vegetables and fruits, of course, whole grains, legumes, which is beans, peas, and lentils, and then a little bit of nuts and seeds. So it's a lot of colors, a lot of phytochemicals, antioxidants, and fiber. And people think, oh, what do you eat? Rabbit food? You can subsist on lettuce, and that's so far from the truth. So I came up with a few sample breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Some breakfasts that a lot of people eat and enjoy are banana blueberry pancakes with pure maple syrup, or a big hot piping bowl of oatmeal with some, berries and some walnuts or seeds. I have a breakfast rice pudding recipe in my Nutrition Idiot's Guide that everyone seems to love. It's got raisins in it and some almonds. It's really delicious. And then one of my favorites is a green smoothie. So I'll do like a spicy tropical green smoothie with some pineapple and mango and I could add some cayenne pepper and coconut water and leafy greens, and it's super healthy and fills you up for the rest of the morning. And then some ideas like a bean and rice and veggie burrito with guacamole and pico de gallo, or pad thai with a Thai corn chowder on the side, or vegetarian sushi rolls. You can get the avocado rolls or vegetable rolls. You can get that cucumber salad and miso soup. That's a fun lunch. And then for dinners, I have a great recipe for barbecue tofu wings. So it's kind of like wings, but made out of tofu. And you can eat that with celery sticks and a vegan ranch dressing. Or last night I had a bean, lentil, and veggie chili. And in there was some tempeh, and I made a whole grain cornbread on the side. So that was really hearty. My kids ate that one up. You could do like coconut curry or tofu stir fry. You could have brown rice or quinoa with it. You can go Mediterranean style and have falafel with pita and like a cucumber tomato salad. There's just so many options. It just goes on and on. We're not deprived.
Yeah, you're right. It's not like the typical lettuce diet. It's pretty filling, huh?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Can you tell us a little bit more about where the protein comes from and what it tastes like? For somebody who's never had tofu, for example, before, it doesn't look too appealing. What can they expect when they're chowing down on it? What's that eating experience like?
Well, tofu pretty much takes the shape and form of whatever you put it in. But just because you're eating a plant-based diet doesn't mean you need to go out and seek your protein and you have to eat tofu. Plenty of plant-based eaters don't even eat tofu at all. The thing is that people kind of associate protein with animal flesh, like that's just kind of synonymous. But protein is just one of the 3 macronutrients. There's carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and they're available in all foods. So even like leafy greens have almost half their calories coming from protein. there's basically protein everywhere, and you can get all of your amino acids from plants. And I think another big myth that a lot of people think is that we need so much protein, that we need, you know, a certain amount. Everyone's always striving for more protein. But the truth is we only need about 10% of our calories to come from protein. And when you start going into high protein levels, it's not even healthy. That's when you can start getting health problems just from the protein itself. So look for, you know, beans and legumes and nuts and seeds and leafy greens. And of course, you could try the tofu and tempeh, which a lot of people seem to love. It's one of my favorites, actually.
Wow. So I guess we talked about protein. What about calcium? Are our bones at all at risk, you know, with the lack of dairy in a plant-based diet?
Right. Well, there's a lot of things about bone health that seem to be oversimplified in the media, and people pretty much think you need to drink milk and eat dairy in order for your bones not to dissolve. But it's so not true. And bone health is so multifactorial. It's not all about calcium intake. You know, you can take in calcium till the cows come home, no pun intended, and not absorb it into your bones. So we need to think about a few things. First of all, you can get calcium from plant sources. It's more than available, and it's very bioavailable. So your body will absorb that calcium. You can get it from leafy greens, from almonds, bok choy, broccoli. Those are rich sources of calcium. And then my plant-based milk, like I either have an almond milk or soy milk for breakfast, and it has exactly the same amount of calcium and vitamin D as does cow milk. And I like to avoid dairy for a lot of reasons, but there's a whole bunch of hormones and steroids and antibiotics and chemicals in dairy that we recommend that you avoid. You can get that from those plant foods. And the other thing about bone health is the #1 most effective tool you have to support your positive bone growth and development and metabolism is exercise, getting regular resistance exercise on a regular basis. And then we need to look at vitamin D levels and there's so many other nutrients and factors involved that it's not just about the calcium.
Okay, so now that we're talking about vitamins and nutrients, are there any sort of supplements people on a plant-based diet should take?
The only nutrient you can't get on a whole food plant-based diet is vitamin B12. And the reason for that is that B12 is made by bacteria in the soil, so the cows eat that, and then it goes into their body, and that's how we get the B12. If you're not eating any animal products, make sure you supplement with 2,000 to 2,500 micrograms of vitamin B12 a week. That's all you need. And other than that, monitor for deficiencies like anywhere else. But the people that eat only exclusively plants don't have any increased incidence of any deficiencies.
Okay. I think Angie and I were talking about if there are any challenges of a plant-based diet.
Yes, I think the #1 challenge of a plant-based diet is the social aspect. People tend to, it's hard to go out and people go, oh my God, what are you going to eat? Or they feel a little bit uncomfortable, or, you feel like you have to explain yourself. And it's so interesting because as a dietitian, that happens anyway. People are always very self-conscious about what they eat when you're eating with them. But when you're known as a vegan or an herbivore, people kind of just feel really, like they want to bring it up. They want to talk about it. They get nervous. They get stressed. Well, where are you going to get your nutrients? And so I think the social component might be the only challenge. I think people have a hard time explaining to their family and friends that this is something they wanted to do, and people just don't understand it. I think it's kind of mysterious, although I think that's changing. And I think, I keep saying 2013 is the year of plant-based because it's exploding in popularity and people are getting so healthy. So it's just the most exciting type of diet that's out there. And it is really, like, if you look back at history throughout time, it is the most prevalent, effective way to maintain optimal health.
Okay, so let's say that somebody chooses to go on a plant-based diet, and maybe it seems a little bit daunting at first. Do you have any advice on how to transition into that, and, how to make it successful by kind of easing into, what is the best way to get started if you go plant-based?
Getting started on going plant-based should be fun. It should be looked at positively, like a challenge in a fun way. So instead of going, because I hear a lot of people go, oh, what do I have to give up? I can't have this, I can't have. Instead of thinking about it like that, I think you should take it of a more positive, optimistic approach and say, hey, what do I get to try now? Let me try a new restaurant, or let me try a new recipe. Let me try a new fruit or vegetable. Like, how many times have you walked through the produce section and saw something that you're like, I wonder what that's like, Try it, And nowadays, I think experimenting is not only much easier than ever before, but there is like limitless websites and blogs and cookbooks just everywhere on plant-based and vegan and herbivore, and there's just so many wonderful options out there. Try new recipes, experiment, find stuff you love. You know, essentially most people eat about 1 to 2 breakfasts, you know, every week. They vary it, or 2 to 3 lunches and maybe 5 dinners at the most. Just find your staples of those meals, like a few of those meals that you love, and you'll be set. It's just like learning a new language, but it's really fun. I've never seen anyone not have an amazing experience by transitioning to this diet.
Well, your enthusiasm about this is just contagious. You make them sound very, very exciting. So how long have you been following a plant-based diet?
I've been trying to do this for many, many years, but I officially went all the way about 6 years ago. And my energy increased, I had irritable bowel syndrome, I had like all these digestive issues just gone. They completely went away. My performance, I was a personal trainer for 14, 15 years, and I'm really big into exercise, and my exercise has gotten so much better. If I get sore, it's gone very quickly. I've just had amazing results. And I've been working with clients now for about 18 years total, and since I switched over to this way of teaching, the results have been extraordinary.
Wow, that's fantastic. So is there anything else that we should know about plant-based diets? You know, what other kind of insight would you like to share with us now?
My words of advice would be to not be hard on yourself, and it's not all or nothing. I don't like that all or nothing mentality ever. It shouldn't be black and white. You know, you got to find what works for you and what feels good. Experiment with new stuff, and be easy on yourself. Make it really fun and positive. And it's a spectrum. Remember that the more health-promoting foods you consume, you know, the lots of vegetables, leafy greens, beans, whole grains, legumes, all of those things, the more of those you consume, and the less of the processed and the animal products you consume, the healthier you'll be.
Perfect. Well, Julieanna, thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom with us today. For everyone who's watching, thank you for tuning in. And you can find a lot more on plant-based diets at usnews.com/bestdiets2013. Good luck to all of you with your diet goals. And if you do choose to go plant-based, we hope it works for you. Thanks again.